The purposes of God. Again, this is video number 14 in our special 29-part series on the purposes of God. Again, I am your host, Doug Krieger of the Tribulation Network. And now on to video number 14. Video number 14, we'll be discussing further the Great Pyramid at Giza and its association with the apocalypse, the end of days, part 2. The squaring of the circle. The perfect dimensions of the Great Pyramid, with its missing capstone, the last 30 feet, make it possible, by use of the square and the compass, to determine the circumference of the circle by doubling its height of 481 feet times 2 would give us 962 feet times pi, using pi as 3.14159,265, it would equal to, that is, the circumference, 3,022 feet, the circumference of the Great Pyramid circle. Note 2-foot variance due to surface deterioration. Now, 756 feet, which is one side of the Great Pyramid's base, times 756 times 756 would cube the Great Pyramid. And that figure, those multiples, would equal 432,081,216 cubic feet, using one side of the base as the same side of a 12-sided cube, having the same dimensions throughout, divided by 2 as 1/2 of the cube, or upper portion of the pyramid, would give us 216,040,608, or 2160 as a fractal of the cube. That figure, plus 360, the degrees in a circle, or 360 days in a prophetic year, would equal to 2520, or the fractal of 25.20 inches of the sacred cubit. The squaring of the circle is accomplished by the missing capstone of the Great Pyramid, doubling its height times pi, the diameter of the circle, of 962 feet. 3,022 feet would be the circumference of the circle of the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. 1,512 apocalypsis, the Greek gematria, times pi would equal 481 feet times 2 would give us 962 feet. The year 2016 AD, where does it figure in? And is it the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet in the midst of the 2,520-day week, yet future? The Great Pyramid's perimeter of 3,022 feet to 3,024 feet represents the years between 962 BC, the year of Solomon's temple commencement, and 2016 AD, that is 3,022 biblical years of 360 days. Each converts to 2,978 solar years with 365.242 days each. 2,978 minus the year of Solomon's dedication of its first temple equals 2016 AD. 962 BC is a perfect ratio of pi. Pi times 962 equals 3,022. There's the circumference of the Great Pyramid if the height of it were doubled times pi. The Great Pyramid, the Earth, and the Moon. For those into math, although the problem of squaring the circle was proven mathematically impossible in the 19th century as pi being irrational, cannot be exactly measured, the Earth, the Moon, and the Great Pyramid are all coming about as close as you can get to the solution. If the base of the Great Pyramid is equated with the diameter of the Earth, then the radius of the Moon can be generated by subtracting the radius of the Earth from the height of the pyramid. Please see the graphic to your right by observation. Pause and take a look at this slide a little bit more carefully. The prophetic reach of the Great Pyramid cannot be underestimated. The proportions of the Great Pyramid, using the graph, the height of the Great Pyramid times 2 pi exactly equals the perimeter of the pyramid. This proportions result from elegant design of the pyramid with the height equal to 2 diameters of a circle and the base equal to the circumference of that circle. The height of the Great Pyramid, 481.3333 feet, times 2 times pi, times, that is, 6.2831852, will equal 3024, the Great Pyramid's perimeter, or 756, one side of the Great Pyramid, times 4 is equal to 3024 linear feet. 3024 linear feet, that is, the perimeter of the base of the Great Pyramid, divided by 2, will equal 1512, the Apocalypsis gematria of Greek, exactly equals the perimeter of the Great Pyramid. These proportions result from elegant design of the pyramid with the height equal to 2 diameters of a circle and the base equal to the circumference of the circle. The capstone of the Great Pyramid, as you know, is missing. You can see that on the lower photo. From antiquity, Diodorus Siculus, 60 BC, it appears that the Great Pyramid's 30-foot by 30 capstone was left unfinished, a truncated summit. The apex stone was to be golden, but was never installed. Is this the capstone which the builders rejected and was purposefully designed to be missing the capstone? The work of Thomas Horn and others declare the lost symbol found and the final mystery of the Great Seal of the United States with its descending eye, yet to be the capstone, signifies the coming one of Illuminati fame to establish his new world order. Thus, could the Great Pyramid of Giza represent the great new world order, a one world government, one world religion, and one world economy, which will eagerly await its ultimate leader, the person of Antichrist? So suggests Thomas Horn. Who are you, O great mountain? This is another suggestion of why there is no capstone upon the Great Pyramid. Zechariah's declaration and the Almighty's immediate and prophetic expression of the universal lampstand depicting the Spirit's work in the building of the temple is antithetical to the great mountain. Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord of hosts. Who are you, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel you shall become a plain, and he shall bring forth the capstone with shouts of grace, grace to it. Zechariah chapter 4. Again, did the builders of the Great Pyramid of Giza reject the capstone, the head of the corner? And he shall bring forth the capstone with shouts of grace, grace to it. Zechariah 4:7. Behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he who believes on him will by no means be put to shame. The stone which the builders rejected has become the head of the corner. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. 1 Peter 2, verses 6 through 9. There are 273 miles from the Great Pyramid's base of Giza to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. 273 miles. The picture that you're looking at here on your left is a picture of the New Jerusalem as a pyramidal model. Now, in our last slide in video 14 here, we speak of the 144,000, that great number of the New Jerusalem, and the Great Pyramid and their interconnectivity. We had mentioned the 273-mile figure between the base of the Great Pyramid at Giza and the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Now let's take those 273 miles, based, if you would, on the sacred cubit, times 5,280 feet, which is the number of feet in a mile. When multiplied together, they will equal 1,441,440 feet, or 144 twice, that is 144,1440 in feet. That is, two groups of the 144,000, Israel and the church, which are mentioned in Revelation chapter 7 as the 12 tribes of Israel. That is the first group of 144,000. And the second group of 144,000 are mentioned in Revelation chapter 14 on Mount Zion. They represent the 144,000 of the church. When we get to Revelation chapter 21 and speaking of the wall of the New Jerusalem, it simply says that the wall is 144 cubits, not necessarily its height, nor its thickness, nor its length, just simply 144 cubits. And that would mean 12 times 12 equals 144. 12 being the 12 patriarchs of Israel, times 12, the 12 apostles of the Lamb. 12 times 12 would equal 144. Indeed, the 12 gates of the New Jerusalem bear the names of the 12 tribes of Israel, and the foundations, the 12 separate foundations of the New Jerusalem, bear the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb, that is, the church. 12 times 12, 12 equals 144. Therefore, the Great Pyramid to the Temple Mount bespeaks of the prophetic New Jerusalem. This indeed is an altar to the Lord in the heart of Egypt, and a monument, a pillar to the Lord at its border. Isaiah 19, verse 19. So concludes our 14th video. Again, I am your host, Doug Krieger of the Tribulation Network, and we'll be moving on to video number 15 in this special prophetic series. Thank you for viewing and for listening.